All right, so let's dive into this BotBiz AI thing. You sent over their website, and it's like this whole playground of AI tools. I mean, it seems right up your alley.
Yeah, it's pretty wild what they're doing.
They've got over 130 GPTs. Each one is for something different.
It is amazing, isn't it? They're not just into, like, following the latest AI trends. It's more like they want to set a whole new standard for how we integrate AI into everyday life.
Exactly, and that's what's so fascinating about it. So they've really gone all in on these GPTs.
Yeah, these generative pre-trained transformers, it's like they've trained all these AI brains on mountains of data.
Okay, I have to admit, I'm still wrapping my head around what a GPT actually is.
Oh, sure.
You're the AI guru, so break it down for us. What are they, and how's BotBiz using them in such creative ways?
Basically, imagine a computer program that's read everything ever written on a specific topic. And I mean everything.
Okay, that's a lot of reading.
That's what a GPT does. It absorbs all that info and then uses it to answer your questions, write different kinds of creative content, even have a conversation with you.
Wow, so it's like having an expert on call 24/7, but for, like, any topic you can imagine.
Exactly. And BotBiz has taken that idea and run with it in some seriously creative directions. Like, they have this helicopter flight training guide GPT.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Helicopters, GPTs, tell me more.
So imagine you're prepping for your pilot's license, right? Instead of wrestling with that dry official Transport Canada manual, you've got this GPT that pulls info straight from it.
So it's like having a personal flight instructor, but it's available anytime.
Precisely.
That's way more engaging than flipping through a boring old manual. And speaking of engaging, you mentioned they have over 130 of these GPTs.
They do, and they cover everything you can imagine.
Give us some more examples. What else caught your eye?
Well, for the aviation geeks out there, they've got the Aircraft Almanac GPT.
An almanac. Is that like a super detailed encyclopedia of aircraft?
Even better, think of it as a collection of stories. It dives into the history of all sorts of aircraft, helicopters, fighter jets, even spacecraft.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So it's not just specs and figures. It's like the behind-the-scenes drama of aviation history.
Exactly. They've managed to take something that could be super technical and turn it into something that's actually fascinating to explore.
I like it. And what about something completely different? You know, just for fun.
Oh, they've got fun covered. Check out their Zombie Crisis Challenge.
Zombies? Seriously, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So it's basically a game where you have to survive a zombie apocalypse, but here's the kicker. It uses actual CIA resources to help you navigate the chaos.
Wait, so it's like a zombie survival game, but with real-world intel?
Yep. It's surprisingly immersive, even if it sounds a bit out there.
That's incredible. It's like they're gamifying disaster preparedness, but with zombies. I'm into it. So we've got flight training, aircraft history, zombie survival. It seems like BotBiz has a GPT for everything.
They really do, and we've only just scratched the surface.
It really does feel like we've only just begun to explore this BotBiz universe. So where should we dive in next?
Well, since we're on the topic of deep dives, how about we unpack that dystopian odyssey GPT a bit more? We touched on it earlier.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, navigating a post-apocalyptic world, even if it's virtual, it's not exactly something you get to do every day.
Right. And what makes this one so interesting is the decision-making aspect of it all. Like, you're thrown into these really intense situations where your choices actually have consequences for your character. You know, like if they survive or not.
So it's like those old choose-your-own-adventure books we used to read, but with, like, an AI twist.
Exactly. But with this, there's a real sense of weight to your decisions. You have to think fast, figure out the possible outcomes, deal with the fallout, and, oh yeah, there's a whole world collapsing around you while you do it.
So it's not just about, like, outrunning zombies. It's about the choices you make every step of the way.
Exactly. It really gets you thinking about, how we make decisions under pressure and stuff.
That's a pretty clever way to sneak in some psychology lessons. Okay, shifting gears a bit here. What about this time traveler to DaVinci GPT? That one sounds like something straight out of, like, a science fiction movie.
Doesn't it, though? I mean, just the idea of having a conversation with Leonardo da Vinci, even if it's simulated, it's kind of mind-blowing. Think about it. You could talk to him about his art, his inventions, his views on the world.
I'd love to pick his brain about everything from the Mona Lisa to, like, his flying machines.
Right. It's like having a direct line to one of history's biggest geniuses.
It's amazing. So we've talked about surviving dystopian worlds and chatting with historical figures. What else is there?
Well, remember that Chronicle Lens GPT we mentioned earlier, the one that's all about visual learning?
Yeah, the one that's like a time machine for your eyes, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Imagine instead of just reading about, say, ancient Rome, you're actually seeing their empire expand, their buildings being built, how they live their lives. It's a totally different way to experience history.
It's like being there, right in the middle of it all.
Exactly. And then there's the coat of arms and name analyst, which is, way more than just getting a fancy crest with your name on it.
It's like a deep dive into the whole world of heraldry. I mean, they've got a system of symbols and meanings that goes back centuries.
And having a GPT that can break down your name, figure out your family history, and then make a coat of arms based on all that, that's pretty cool.
Definitely. Okay, but let's be real. Not everyone's a history buff. What about those of us who, say, are more interested in planning their next vacation?
Well, if you're dreaming of escaping to a tropical island, their Tropical CBI Guide GPT might be right up your alley.
CBI. What's that stand for?
Citizenship by investment.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so tell me more.
It's basically a guide to all those programs that let you, invest in a country in exchange for citizenship. And this one focuses on those idyllic island nations, the ones with the white sand beaches and crystal clear waters.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. So it's not just about visiting paradise, it's about, like, potentially making it your home.
Exactly. It walks you through how these programs work, what you need to do to qualify, all the benefits, and of course, it showcases the destinations themselves.
That's incredible. It's
Yeah.
like they've combined travel planning with financial advice, but with a little touch of escapism thrown in for good measure.
Yeah.
Okay, but enough about paradise. Let's get back to reality for a sec. What about something for those of us who are more, hands-on, like DIYers and stuff?
Well, if you're into DIY projects, their DIY Dynamo GPT is pretty cool. Think of it as like a virtual assistant for everything home improvement.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Need help fixing a leaky faucet? Want some inspiration for your next decorating project? DIY Dynamo's got you covered.
So it's like having a handyman, a decorator, and a personal cheerleader all rolled into one. I love it. Okay, but what if you're more into, like, the artsy side of things? Less about fixing things and more about creating them.
Well, for those who want to explore their artistic side, they've got this amazing GPT called Cathedral Artist.
Cathedral artist. What does it do? Turn you into a stone carver.
Not exactly. It takes your photos, like from your phone, and turns them into incredible digital art.
Like filters and stuff?
Kind of, but way more advanced. The art style is inspired by, well, cathedral interiors. So think stained glass windows, those beautiful arches.
Oh, that's actually really cool. It's like turning memories into art.
Exactly. And it's not just visual art either. They also have GPTs for music lovers.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, for anyone who's ever wanted to write songs, there's Lyric Muse. It helps you rewrite lyrics based on any theme you want.
Wow. So you can take, like, your angsty teenage poetry and turn it into a chart-topping hit.
I hadn't thought about it like that, but I guess you could. And for people who really like to analyze music, there's Lyric Interpreter.
What's that one do?
It digs into those hidden meanings and interpretations behind your favorite songs.
It's like having a personal songwriting coach and a music analyst all in one. It's incredible. They really have thought of everything.
They really have. And
Yeah.
you know what? We haven't even touched on their GPTs that explore things like faith and spirituality, or the ones that put you right in the middle of crazy survival situations.
Or the ones that let you experience the world through the senses of animals, right? We talked about that earlier.
Yes. There's just so much to uncover with BotBiz. It's mind-blowing.
They're not just building AI tools. They're crafting these incredible experiences.
Exactly. They're pushing the boundaries of what AI can do, and that's what makes exploring their work so fascinating.
I know, right? I have to admit, I'm a little overwhelmed, but in a good way. I mean, with so many incredible GPTs to explore, where do you even begin?
There can be a lot to take in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the best place to start is with whatever piques your curiosity the most, Like what really gets you excited about the potential of AI.
That's a good point. I think for me, it would have to be something that really pushes the boundaries of what we think is possible. So probably that time traveler to Da Vinci GPT.
Oh, definitely. Imagine being able to bounce ideas off of Da Vinci himself, even a simulated version of him, and get his perspective on like modern art and science and everything. It's like tapping into this wellspring of pure genius.
Exactly. And maybe challenge some of our own assumptions about the world along the way.
But BotBiz isn't just about these historical deep dives, right? They've also got some pretty thought-provoking GPTs that deal with more I don't know, contemporary issues. Absolutely. Like that dystopian Odyssey GPT we talked about. That one's not just a game. It really makes you confront some tough ethical dilemmas and make difficult choices with like limited information.
Yeah, it's like they've gamified critical thinking, which, let's face it, we could all use a little more of these days.
No argument there.
But for those who prefer their history with the side of what if,
Hmm.
there's always the alternate reality explorer GPT.
Oh, yeah. That one will really send your mind spinning. Just imagine rewinding history and seeing what might have happened if, I don't know, something major had gone differently.
It makes you wonder about those sliding door moments in history, right?
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a second and talk about something a little more practical.
Yeah.
Especially with so many people working remotely these days, that savvy digital nomad GPT seems super relevant.
Absolutely. It's become incredibly popular, and for good reason. I mean, it's like having a digital nomad mentor right in your pocket, ready to answer all your questions about everything from finding remote work to, like, navigating visas and taxes.
It's true. The more I learn about BotBiz, the more I realize it's not just about giving people information. It's about empowering them, too.
100%. They're not just handing you the answers, they're giving you the tools to find your own way.
Exactly. Take that Bot GPT, for example. That one's not about giving you a step-by-step guide to life. It's about helping you tap into your own potential. It's like they took this ancient idea of manifestation and gave it a technological upgrade.
Right. Whether you believe in that kind of thing or not, the very idea that our thoughts can shape our reality is pretty amazing, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it really speaks to this bigger trend we're seeing with AI, where technology is being used more and more for, like, personal growth and self-discovery.
Totally. It's not just about making our lives easier anymore. It's about helping us unlock our full potential.
Well said. Well, it seems like we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of BotBiz. And wow, what a journey it's been. We've explored everything from ancient history to the future of AI, from the practical to the profound.
It's been quite the ride. And the most exciting part is I think this is just the beginning for BotBiz. They're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI and creating these engaging and empowering experiences. I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
Me too. And to our listeners, if you're ready to dive into this exciting world of AI, to discover what hidden passions it might unlock within you, I definitely encourage you to check out BotBiz AI. It's a wild ride, but in the best way possible. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, keep diving deep.